the first passage is it started with filling the gaps. So from
it's breaking. Okay. It's all right. Fine. We had you quite well. Now, I want to share
the question. The answers was, and when I started the true.
How with you, ma?
Can I continue?
Yes, please continue.
So the first question, 1 to 8, was filling the gap. So from 9 to 13, true, false, not given. Yeah. So after where the last answer was the 8 answers, the 8 questions answer. So the true, false, not given started from the next paragraph.
Okay.
So that was how that KB 13 test 3 was. Okay. So, but there was no multiple choice. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten up to that because I think I'm still having issue with that.
Multiple choice is the simplest. Okay. Everybody has always said I would say everything is simplest. Everything is simplest. Now, I like to. Can I have somebody else to talk? Because I want us to share our experiences so that somebody can gain. It's not going to be like I'm the one that's just saying everything. You know, I'm just a seer. All right. Who else did this test? Mrs. Onibobi did it now.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What I did was, like what you said the last time, I did the simpler one first. Then the yes, no, not given question and the matching heading. I did those ones last. So that helped me to be able to, that was why I was able to get up to that number I got.
Okay. So that means the methods are working. Now, I want to share something with us tonight. There are 2-3 things and I don't want to take unnecessary time. I want to share 2 or 3 things tonight. I'd like you to listen to me carefully. How do you destroy reading within 45 minutes and possibly have a 7? That's the secret I want to share with us tonight. I believe you like that secret. Now, if anything happens to my video, please don't mind it though. Just be hearing my voice. We don't explain what happened last night. All right? Or last 2 nights. Now, the first thing is try not to be distracted by the urgency to get a question by all means. And there's this feeling that if I don't get this question, I must get this question. Then you now stay on the question for 10 minutes. All right? That question is a thief, it's an arm robber. It's a stealer of one's time. And of course, it's a stealer of that destiny of that your reading test is at risk because of one question. So never allow any question to distract you. Very important. So my advice is spend at most 15 minutes on each passage, and as per each question, the highest number of minutes per question is 2 minutes. You remember that I said for the groups of questions that this with just picking your answer without having to summarize, you mark out the keywords, and then you connect the keywords in the passage, and then you find your answer there. Whether it is matching, whether it is multiple choice, fill in the gap, sentence completion, table summaries, table completion, whatever it is, that's the pattern. You just go ahead and mark the keywords, and then now look at this question, for example. Now you will see the keywords are the words before those spaces. They are majorly nouns and verbs. Once you mark them, you will find the answer in the passage because the words are in the passage. Now, the problem that could now happen to people is if they are not able to find the answers in the passage, and they say, this answer, I'm still looking for it. And I've said something. The first to the third paragraph will likely host the first group of questions. And then the fourth, fifth, sixth paragraph will likely host the other questions, except for matching headings. The only stuff that doesn't obey what I'm saying now is what? Matching headings. And it is always preferred to be done last so that you don't waste your time. So locating your answer becomes some target. You just go to where you believe your answer is likely to be, and then you do what? You pick your answer there straight on. That's straight and simple. It's so simple, so straight. But I said never spend more than 2 minutes looking for your keyword and as well as looking for your answer. Let's assume that when you want to answer a question, you spend the first 4 minutes or 3 minutes to pick the keywords of all the questions. So now you want to answer the question from number 1. So you have like 11 minutes left. So you pick the first question and you're trying to look for you're trying to look for the keywords so that you can answer them. And then you discover that you are spending 2 minutes. Drop the question, go to the next question. Why? The answer are symmetrical. So if you locate the second answer, you can easily locate the first answer. Just trace your way back. And that is all. So, and the moment you begin to get the second, third question, the possibility of getting the one you did not get initially is higher, because the spaces you're going to look for, it will be shorter. You will not have to do a random search up and down. You'll be able to search specifically on specific areas, and that helps you. So never spend more than 15 minutes on the question. Now, let me not give you an analogy. If you get 10 in a question, 10 over 14 or 10 over 13 for the first passage, and you use 15 minutes, and you go to the next passage, you got another 10, and you use 15 minutes. You went to the third passage, you got another 10, and use 15 minutes. If peradventure you submit them, following on instructions, writing the normal way, you don't have to copy your answer, because some people used to do one funny mistake. I had an exam that somebody was answering the question in the question sheet, hoping that there will be 10 minutes extra to copy the answer. So by the time they said, stop, innocently, he started copying the answer. And the examiner said, what? You are writing after? I said, I'm copying my answer. He said, no, you have to stop. Now, it's pathetic. If the person had gotten all the answers she ticked in the question sheet, there is no way to prove it. So she's in trouble already. So answer directly in the answer sheet. Answer directly in the answer sheet. Don't experiment. Answer directly in the answer sheet, straight on, and you'll be using pencil. So there's no problem. So now, if you now probably want to submit at the eve of the 45th minute, and you got the 10 questions, your band score is going to be what? 7. That's with 15 minutes left. So if you now decide to go around and do the remaining ones, there's no way that you will not get at least 5 out of the remaining 10. Abba, what's happening now? And that is the easy way to have a high score. In fact, it could even be stubborn and angry, and just annoying. Let me show you the way to be annoyed. Can I show you how to be annoyed? You just said, all right, I'm not able to do the remaining 10. I want to confirm the ones I did to show I got it right. That's being mad. But of course, you can even decide to be mad anyway. But bottom line is, focus on how the easy ones you will likely get in the first 45 minutes. And make sure that you do not miss any of the 3 passages when it comes to finding out these equations. Do you get my point now? So at least you have had the opportunity to scan through the 3 passages, and there was a mistake that happened for one of my students in this exam. Pathetic story, very pathetic. That lady had 8.5 in listening, 7.5 in writing, and 8 in speaking. 8. Then she now went to have 6.5 in reading. He said, that result enter places, yes, but it doesn't enter UK. Because in UK, you must have 7 in reading. The only place they allow 6.5 is what? Is writing. So, and when she saw the results, she bursted to tears to tell you how anguishing it was to her. And what was the error? The error was that from the time she had been practicing, she made up her mind she's going to start from passage 3. So when she got to the exam hall, she has, that's a strategy for practice. She went straight to passage 3. On getting to passage 3, she met almighty matching headings, headache bringing matching headings. Exactly matching headings. The matching headings, you will die. 15 minutes. So now she was not working with time. So she ended up spending 30 minutes on passage 3. So she had 30 minutes left for the remaining 2 passages. So that means so she started trying to rush to see how much she can cover for the other passages. Eventually, she stopped at number 35 or 34. She missed 6 assumptively. Because if she had missed 5, she would have gotten 30. So she missed 6. Just imagine. Now, the question now is this. What if she has abandoned that matching heading stubborn head and went to the simpler questions and answered? She will buy time. And then by buying time, she will go to other questions and answer. And other questions and answer. I will now come back to the stubborn stone head matching headings and have like 15 minutes to tackle it. And I tell you, she's going to pass. So I want us to adopt this method in our practice now. When I used to practice, I made up my mind that after I finish passage 2, I will go to toilet no matter what. I will go to toilet. I practiced going to toilet during my practice. And I want to say this quickly. 2 things will hinder your practice. 1, environmental factor. You can't be practicing and be distracted. Otherwise, it's deceptive practice. You can't say, okay, stop. I want to keep going and do something. No. In reading, once you start, you must finish. That's the principle. Once you start, you must finish. That's the reason. You can't say, I pause. And so what you are doing is 2 things. Number 1, you are trying to test your real proficiency under pressure. Number 2, you are challenging your mind to get used to it. Now imagine that somebody is doing reading test and begin to feel sleepy in the exam. 75K. And it's really, this thing fast, but I'm feeling sleepy. And I say, I want to rest a little. Let me just sleep 5 minutes. I'm sure the invigilator will say, those witches have like sleeping inside IELTS exam. That can be ridiculous. So what I'm trying to say is, make it a norm to finish a whole test in 45 minutes. Then have 15 minutes to go through your work, or to do the ones you abandoned because of time. In fact, I want you to even know how many were you able to finish in 45 minutes? All right, that under 45 minutes, I'm able to finish 35. That is beautiful. Under 45 minutes, I'm able to finish 30. That's beautiful. So you have 10 more. So as you train yourself more, you get to a point, reading is no more an issue for you. And that is the point you're supposed to get to before you start even fighting with writing. That you get to a point where reading is like any reading you see, you will break their bone. As simple as that. So now, the point, I like to focus on yes to not given today and matching edits very quickly. I will not waste time. Once I finish yes to not given and matching edits, we have questions and answers on reading. Please write your question on reading down so that we can answer every one of it, and then we can have a good rest. Now, yes to not given forms one of the difficult aspects of reading text because they come in different shades and sizes. Now, let me quickly say this. Yes or not given is actually a principle of synonyms, antonyms, and probably absolute lack of presence. Word and opposite. Word and opposite. A similar word used or a similar paraphrase used. You will not find the exact words that are used in the passage verbatim in the question. You will never find it. Write this down. You can't ever, if the question, let me read the question here, or yes or no given question here. Children with good self-control are known to be likely to do well at school later on. You can never find this phrase the way it's written here in the question. It's not possible. What we find there is something else. Something totally different. Absolutely different. So you should not be expecting to hear exactly what you put there. You're going to be hearing something. So in looking for your answer under yes to not given, you pick the keywords of that question and you trace it in the passage. You pick the keywords of that question and you trace it in the passage. And once you are able to trace it, the children are likely to play longer and all that. Once you trace it, you want to look at the words and the opposite. What they are saying here, is it the opposite of what they are saying in the passage? Guy, I wish somebody is getting what I'm saying. This is very simple. If they are saying A in the question, or if they are saying he went up in the question, are they saying he went down in the passage? If they are saying this thing was many in the question, like for this question now, they said children play, that good children will do control, do well in school. In the question, are they saying children with good self-control don't do well? So there is a word and opposite relationship of questioning that is clearly observed under yes to not given. Word opposite. Word opposite. The word is the question, the opposite is the passage, or the word is the passage, the opposite is the question. Like turning against each other. And you will find it vivid. While in the case of not given, a key part of that question, not all parts, a key part, and that is where people have mistake. They feel that When it is not given, everything is not different. I mean, it's not there. A key part of that question is not going to be found in the passage. A key part. This thing requires intelligence and really being relaxed. I'm not relaxed enough to check this now. I would have loved us to go through it and see how I responded my answer. It's so simple. Children with, now look at this question now, for example. Let's try and do this together. Now, this is not even Cambridge. Okay, this is Cambridge 14, test 1. If you have Cambridge 14, test 1, open it. Let's try and do this one. 9 to 13. If you have it, let's do it together. Children with good self-control are known to be likely to do well in school, at school. My key word here is children. Good self-control. Known to be likely to do well. Then school. Children, good self-control, known to be likely to do well, school. And is the last part of the question. You know, I know that usually the last part of the question are often towards the last part of the passage too. You get it? I think I remember I said that one. So I'm looking for my answer from not from the maybe fourth to the last paragraph. I mean, yes, fourth to the last paragraph. And I see something like physical behavior is an important indicator of social and emotional development. But what I'm looking for is self-control. Self-control. See, when you are looking for something in high exam, you will be doing agitating you. See, the one that I say, I'm looking for, it's not English. It's not English that you will say, oh, you will be using everything in your body. Now, I conclude that basically your mind should be instrumental, very instrumental in all of this. Your mind should be actively in motion. Your mind should be at the height of movement. It must be, and that's why you can't afford to be having divided attention. Something's on fire. I'm waiting for somebody. My phone will soon ring. It's a lie. It won't work. It won't work. It doesn't work. No. So now I've seen self-control. He said, look at where I saw it all. Now, my scanning skills have developed a bit. So I'm able to spot it faster. Sometimes they will not use that word self-control, they will use another word. But let me just see what they wrote there. She said, a strong possibility is that play supports early development of children's self-control. But that's not the issue. What they said was that they will likely do well in school. I've not gotten there. They have said, this is our ability to develop awareness, and it influences how effectively we can go on about undertaking challenging activities. Because it influence how he will undertake challenging activities. But they never really talked about do well in school yet. They just said China. So I'm not able to pick my answer yet. They now went on and said they found that children with self-control solve problem more quickly. We told that is that they solve problem more quickly when exploring an unfamiliar setup requiring scientific reasoning. And this means something that children play to that giving the children the chance to play will make them more successful problems in the long run. So that long run means later. So I can pick true because it looks True. Did you see I got my answer? Ah. Everybody is looking at me gently. Please look at me in a way that shows that you understand what I'm saying.
So the network is breaking. No, we not get.
Network has started. No. Who is hearing me? If you can hear me, can I see you? If you can hear me, please can I see a wave?
I can hear you.
If you're hearing me,
yes.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay.
And we can hear you.
Can hear you.
I can hear you too.
Can hear you now.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Now I checked my answer. I got that I was true. The answer was true. Now, what I did was to locate the keywords in the question and then find where they're in the passage and find out if it was in the same context with what was written. You will observe that what they wrote here is not directly what they wrote in the passage. The passage was like a summary, but it was meaning the same thing. Now, in a condition where it is false, what they will be saying here will be opposite. Yes, you are correct, ma'am. Now look at what I'm saying. Instead of them to say they will be able to problem solver, be successful in the noun. And what they said is that they'll be successful in the long run. Now they said now, so that's what contradictory, and that is what a false. But in the case of not given, you will not see anything about success, anything about long run, anything about strong. About children, and not the children are eating. It will not have any part to be eliminated totally. They will not talk about success or long run. They'll say children with good IQ. So that is saying that it is not in the passage at all. They just framed it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? So that is the little difference that I want us to note. And in dealing with this kind of question, you must, practice and practice and practice and practice. Do you get it now? If you are getting me, just say yes, I get you. Maybe that will help you to do it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we are getting you.
Yes, sir. Getting you.
Should we do the second one? Are you following Cambridge 14:1? What are the one? I didn't get this question, please. What about the one like I didn't get it. Let me do the second one again. They said a way a child plays may provide information about his medical problem. The key word here is where a child plays provide information, medical problem. Where a child play provide information, medical problem. Look at it. They said playful behavior is an important indicator of healthy social and emotional development. And then they said they observe how this can be used for diagnosis of neurodevelopmental disorders like autism. So the answer is what? True.
True.
This is okay. This one is simple. Sometimes when you do some question, I say, that one you do is very simple. Let's do this tough one. But the truth is that the principles remains the same. You pick the keywords, look at how they close. Now let me try and finish this one. I don't know. Let's finish this one. Let's try and finish it. They said playing dog. Now, and I told you answer is what? Symmetrical. You won't find any answer before what you have answered. So you can be sure of how to locate your answer. So you don't have to be looking at a scatter. Just continue from the flow. They said playing with dolls was fun to benefit guest writing than boys writing. Playing with dolls was fun to benefit girls writing than boys writing. Let's see. All right. Now, look at it. I've seen it. It said, when they first played doll, children wrote longer and better structured stories when they first played dolls. Did they mention anything about girls writing or boys writing?
No, sir.
But they said
No,
they play what? Dolls. But and it also affected their writing, but they never specified which is which. So what answer is that going to be? Chorus
Not
answer? No, the answer is not
Not
given.
given.
The answer is false.
False.
Not given.
Is it false or not given, sir?
False.
That is where you have issues now. I'm going to tell you why it is false. Good. I
Not
said when
given.
there is a contradiction from the passage, it is what? False. And from the question, it is what? False.
False.
When the information is not mentioned at all, or a part of the information is not mentioned at all, is what? Not given. Now, in the passage, they mentioned dolls, they mentioned benefits. The only issue of contradiction was who is benefited. And they even mentioned who is benefited, but they didn't specify male and female. But in the question, they mentioned playing doll, they mentioned benefit, but they now contradicted by the benefactor, who is what? Girls and boys. And that is where we say it is what? False. Now, so now let me not tell you what the problem is for people. Getting which one is contradictory and which one is not given, but it is actually very simple. In not given, that issue of discussion, the key issue of discussion is going to be missing from the passage. We will get there now. The key issue of discussion, you will be looking for it in the passage, even though you are following that symmetry. You know, I said you can't get the answer of number 4. You can't get the answer of number 4 in paragraph 1 when the answer of number 3 is in paragraph 2. It's not possible. It has to follow what? That order. It has to follow what? That order. So you are rest assured of where your answer is going to be found. Not that you are confused about the answer in the first place. And that is this is why this is simpler than matching headings. Because in matching headings, you will be going to and fro. Now let's answer this number 4 question. All right. It said, children add problem thinking up ideas when they first created story with Lego. That is, children problem thinking up idea story with Lego. So I know that I have to look for children problem Lego. All right, and I've begun to see my answer here. Now, all right, look at it now. In latest study, children first created their story with Lego with similar results. Many teachers commented that they had always previously had children saying they do not know what to write about. But with the Lego building, however, not a single child said this throughout the whole year of budget. What was the question? They said they had problem thinking ideas. And here they said they never said so. None of the children said this. They had problem thinking ideas. None of the children said this. Is that word an opposite?
Yes. No. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So that's the answer. Now let's do the last one now. The last one. Is it simple? It's simple. Is it simple? It's simple.
Yes, sir.
Don't ever let anybody tell you that reading is hard. It's simple. All right. Now the last one now. People nowadays regard children's play as less now. Not the word though. People nowadays regard that children's play are less significant than in the past. People nowadays, they regard that children's play are less significant than in the past. So now I remember I said the answer is what? Symmetrical. So I'm going to the next. I saw this one in this talk to the last paragraph. Now I'm going to the second to the last paragraph now. Number 11 is not given. Oh, okay. We'll come back to that. Let's just break through. Okay. So, people. Now I'm trying to see other strengths to describe the teaching of young children are likely. The last paragraph. Somehow the arts of play have been lost in recent. It is regarded as something trivial or even as something negative that contracts with work. Let's not lose sight of its benefits, whatever, and let us now. They said people nowadays regard this as less significant than they did in the past. Somehow, importance of play has been lost in recent decades. They said it was less significant than it was in the past. And they said it has been lost in recent decades. It's regarded as something trivial.
True.
So what the answer here? The answer is what?
True.
All right. Now somebody said we missed number 11.
Yes.
That the answer was not given. So
Yes.
playing with dolls was found to benefit girls' writing than boys' writing. So that's the word there. And then how did they put it here? They said children wrote longer. Is it? Am I reading correctly? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Children wrote longer and better structured stories when they first played with dolls, representing character in the stories. This is actually excuse me. What did I even the last time before I said it was false? I read something like it made it more effective. I read something about effective. I read something about effective now. Like okay, I've seen it. Many children find writing difficult, but we show in a previous study that playing stimulus was far more effective. So I read the wrong place now because what they said here was playing with dolls. Here I spoke about playing full stimulus. So where they talk about playing with dolls, what they made reference to was that they wrote longer and better structured sentences. They never talked about writing effectively when they played with dolls. I don't know whether you get my friends now. That they never associated their playing with dolls with an effective writing system. They only said that they wrote longer and better structured sentences, stories. Not only that, they did also make reference to boys or girls. So the answer actually is going to be not given. I actually thought these better structured stories implied effective writing. And that was the reason why I said false. All right. So, how many did we miss? Who can help us mark? How many did we miss? How many did we get?
We got everything.
Okay, no, we missed one actually. I missed number 11. Now, see, let me tell you something. We cannot miss sometimes, truth be told, because you are under tension. Sometimes you will, like what happened to me now. I thought I was saying something, and in this sense, I was saying something else. It will happen. So don't crucify and say, I missed. Just accept that you will miss one or two, and then manage just make me remember someone that had 7.5, 7 in writing and still wants to do the mark. I don't understand. Okay. So, back to what I was saying. That is how simple. Now, I don't know whether we got the system I try to use right now. Do we have any question on this, please?
No question.
Or should we do another one? Should we do for another one and do? Let me do it. If you want us to do another one, just say yes. If you want us to move on to matching headings, say no. So let's do a short debate. You want us to do one more before we maybe. I'm not seeing anybody again. No.
We said yes.
Yeah.
We said yes.
Oh, there are okay. There are more yeses.
In the chat room, yes.
All right. I just found something skipping it. That was why. So let's try and approach one more. Let's see. I think the second passage. All right. So now you observe that I didn't read the passage at all. Reading the passage is one of the time-wasting techniques from that IELTS examiners gifted their students during teaching section. If you have ever had them teach the passage, it's a time-wasting technique given to us to waste our time further. So please, if you can discard it, discard it. It's not necessary. So I'm reading the question right now. And the question is a discrete. Now, another mistake people used to do when they said true, false, not given, don't go and write yes, no, not given. Do you get my point? If they say true, false, not given, please don't write yes, no, not given. It will put somebody into trouble. Actually, I think it's the third passage, not the second. The third passage, not the second. Third. Yeah. There are 4 questions there. One reason for high staff turnover in the hospitality industry is poor morale. One reason for high staff turnover in the hospital industry is poor morale. My keywords here are reason, high staff turnover, hospital industry, poor morale. Reason, high staff turnover, hospital industry, poor morale. And there it is like the last question. So I'll be finding my answers within the range of almost as he said one. All right. Reasons. Okay. Why there is high staff turnover in hospitality industry is poor morale. Now I'm trying to look at paragraph 5 now, though I'm not sure but I'm still something like summarize that providing support hospitals can enhance motivation to development and whatever. So it seems likely that employees' reaction to job can be affected by their predisposition to view their work environment negatively. No evidence exists to support this hypothesis. However, many people will find something to complain about in in relation to their workplace. This is strong particular factors of their work environment that are separate from the work itself, including company policy, salary, and vacation. So, can we call all what I just mentioned poor morale or poor morale? One reason why for high staff turnover in hospitality industry is poor morale. Now, where I'm going now is hospitality industry. Then the issue of high staff turnover. That's one area I've not connected very properly. Such conditions are troubling where high quality is recognized as, in this sense, service of represent the industry, and then the relationship are committed to their guests. There's a reason why there's a relationship between guest environment for the industry and the work condition of the employees. I'm yet to see. Please, is there any synonym for high staff turnover that probably you have seen that I've not seen? Because I'm trying to key out the staff
Yes,
turnover, issue
Mr.
of
T,
high
let's
staff
check
turnover.
the fourth paragraph.
The
The fourth
fourth
paragraph.
paragraph.
Yes, it's there.
Okay, because that's I've seen turnover. Save me. Now, all right. So in addition, high employee turnover has been a recurrent problem throughout the hospital industry. Among the many cited reasons is low compensation, inadequate um, benefits, poor working condition, compromised employee morale and attitude. I think the answer is true. Yeah, I think that is it true or yes? Yes, I think the answer is yes, Abby.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Now, you will see that I'm finding it difficult to pick my answer if I've not found my keywords. So the keywords remains the factor for my getting the answer in the first place. If the keyword is not gotten, the answer cannot be seen. So let us get that into our minds. Second question, and of course, I think since I've read the first question now, the other questions are going to be so easy. Test 3, test 1, yes, test 1, passage 3. Then we have research has shown that staff has a tendency to dislike their workplace. All right, so NG and Sorensen demonstrated that managers provide recognition to employees, motivate this, remove that, and this is summarized in saying that providing support give employment, give confidence to stay with the organization. Hospitality organization can therefore enhance motivation and retention. These are linked with working environment. They said they have the tendency, that's not really shown that yet. Why it seems likely that employees' reaction to their work characteristics could be affected by a predisposition to view their work environment negatively. Could be affected by it. So they said they have a tendency, that's predisposition. So we might be having another yes here. No evidence exists to support
this
their
hypothesis.
hypothesis. As shown that staff has, okay, but there's no evidence. So we're dealing with a false here, because why they were saying they have a predisposition, there's no evidence. But so that research, it cannot be proven by research. Whereas it says, so the answer is what? False.
No.
Abi?
No.
Everybody is silent. Am I
The
wrong?
answer is no.
No. Okay, sorry. That's another mistake. Instead of saying false, instead of saying no, I say false. So please have mercy on me for saying false. The answer, I was supposed to say no. So the third one is an improvement in working condition and job security makes staff satisfied with their job. An improvement with job, there's a strong link between the perception of particular factors of the work environment, and some conditions are this. In this sense, they present. So it's essential for people to enable to develop HRM transfer. This requires. Are we saying improvements in working conditions and job security makes staff satisfied with their job? The representation has commonly been limited to guest experiences and improvement in it. So it's therefore essential for them to develop HRM that enables them. Now, what is HRM? Was there anything referring to HRM?
Human resource management.
Human resource management.
Is in the beginning.
Okay, I've seen it.
In the first
now, the issue now is HRM the same thing as working conditions and job security? I don't.
No.
No. So, and first thing is that I'm not seeing anything around the improvements here of working conditions. I'm not seeing anything around that here. Or is it here? Proposes that the first motivation includes, okay, this includes working conditions and job security. When these factors are unfavorable, job dissatisfaction may result. Directly, though just fulfilling this thing does not result in satisfaction, but reduction of satisfaction does reduction. So let us see, it makes staff satisfied. This one said it reduces dissatisfaction. So is this one, this is looking like a note to me, because there's a different. Oh, are you picking what is the answer or what we are picking together here? Please hear me. Because what I'm seeing here is it makes them satisfied. Why the question here said it does not make them satisfied. So I'm seeing a no here. The question said it makes them satisfied, and the answer said it does not make them satisfied. So for me, I will pick a no, but of course it's subject to what they say, and then we can find out why they are saying what they said. Anyway.
Mr. Steve, which part? Where are you? Which paragraph?
Exactly. Please, where do you find your answer?
Where do you find the answer?
And please, do we have any adjective behind the factor?
Yes, when these factors are unfavorable.
The paragraph is sorry, before I answer that adjective, the paragraph
working
is
conditions and job
fourth to the last paragraph. Fourth to the last paragraph. Include working condition and job security.
10th paragraph.
Yeah, 10th paragraph. They said when these are unfavorable, job dissatisfaction results. But fulfilling this need does not result in that is one key that we need here. It does
when
not
you fulfill
result.
it does not even.
It does not result in satisfaction. And they said it results in satisfaction in the question. So that's contradictory.
No.
No.
No. Thank you. So Can we move on? The last one now. The last one.
Staff should
Be allowed to choose when they take break during work. So the key words here is what? Staff, allowed, choose, take break, then working day. So motivating work, choose. Now I'm using my scanning skills right now. That's what I'm using right now, and that's what everybody is supposed to use. Fun. Results. I'm not saying it's around break, but they said managers should learn.
Is there the last paragraph?
Achieved it.
Okay. This particularly appropriate to the hospitality industry, including allowing adequate break
during the working day.
Staff function that include then staff should be allowed to choose. No.
They didn't state whether they should be
allowed to choose or not. So
yes.
That's
not given.
Not given.
Is it simple?
Something like that.
It looks simple. It looks simple.
It looks
but we're not on that
simple.
It's simple, but the time
now see. Listen, you know I said something to you before. I said when I deal with this stuff, I wish you get that place. When I deal with this stuff, you first of all do the simpler stuff, and you finish in 45 minutes. So you will have time to deal with the ones that will require time. I think I said it earlier. See, the problem is that we do both the tough one and the simpler ones together. So we will not be, so by the time we spend, now, for example, now, you take a question, you spend 4 minutes, the time for 2 questions on one single question, and you are still sweating. You wrote the answer, you are not sure of the answer. Now you have deprived another 2 questions of your time. And those 2 questions, you could sincerely actually gotten it. Now you have wasted that time on one question that you are not even sure of the answer. And that's the problem of IELTS. When you spend unnecessary time on questions you could do later. Are you following me now? You end up wasting the time that you will have used to answer simpler questions early. So when you now want to concentrate on the simpler questions with your mind, 5 minutes more, sincerely speaking, you will not know what's happening again. You just start picking everything. Yes, good. Yes, no. Because you want to finish. That's the eagerness. It's a natural feeling for every examiner. Every examiner wants to finish. So even if it is right or it is wrong, just keep picking any answer. And that is how the individual has issues with success. So wisdom demands that when you first see your question, divide your timing into 4 parts. The first timing for the first question and for the first passage, and simpler questions are not yes or no given. They are not. And simpler questions also are not truth. Are not true or not given. They are the same thing. Simpler questions also are not matching headings. Simpler questions are not matching information. Even simpler questions are not classifications too. So any other question that has to do with filling the gap, multiple choice, short answer, summary, you do all those ones. This one, they are banana questions. Just be eating everything normally. Clear those ones away from the way. Then you now. So if you're able to finish that passage of those questions in 10 minutes, then you now focus the remaining 5 minutes on the tougher questions, which are the yes, no, not given, or the matching edges, if any. But once it is 15 minutes, if you are still number 2 or number 1 of yes, no, not given, or matching edges, stop there. Go to the next passage. All right? And then waste the 15 minutes on that passage. If probably you're able to finish up to 50 minutes. But if not, if you're able to finish 50 minutes, fine. But make sure that you spend another 50 minutes on that passage, and then you move to the third passage in 50 minutes. So you may be very lucky and finish up the second passage in 15 minutes. And so you will now be having only the stuff you did not answer in passage 1 left. And you'll be having a whole 15 minutes to deal with it. So time will not be a problem then. And at that time, you have done 30 questions already, at least. That 30 questions plus, you should be able to get 30 out of it. So this ones you are just doing, coming back to, is like bonus mark. Did you get my point at all? Am I speaking tangibly? It's like you're looking at what is this one you will say? Like, am I speaking sense to us, please?
Yes.
Because some people have this eager that I must get this one. If I don't get it, I'll not go. That's a time wasting technique. It's time wasting technique. But by the time you say you must get it, they will not give you medal if you get it. And that one you get doesn't mean you get 10. No matter how tough the question is, it's still 1/40. It's as simple as that. So the tough question does not have a higher mark. You get my point? So it is only going to be artfully to exhaust time on tough questions in the name of so that I can feel achieve. Your achievement will not give any blessing or nobody will benefit from that achievement. So just leave the tougher questions, go to the ones that you can answer. As a matter of fact, can I shock you? You can do 35 questions in IELTS and get 7.5. That you didn't finish and you still get 7.5. It's very possible. Because the ones you have, let me say this to you. The ones you did that were simpler, there is a knowing in you if you get the answer. Am I correct? If you got the answer, there is a knowing. Who agrees with me? If you get the answer in IELTS exam, there is a knowing that this answer I got it. Who agrees with me, please? Nobody is saying anything. Like, have you practiced stuff before? Now, if you got the answer, you will know you got it.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
if you are able to know that you got 32 out of 40, are you following? And you have 8 stubborn goats that said they will not change, they will not get the answer out. If you submit like that, you will still have 7.
Yes.
So I mean, we should avoid unnecessary agitation with these stuff. There are some questions that are very simple that we didn't even touch. See, the painful thing is that many times we are not able to get to the simpler questions before the time began to run. And it's our fault. It's just poor management of time. So getting to answer the simpler questions and then, feasting on the tougher questions becomes our responsibility in being able to kill the monster of reading and make it look as simple as it is. Do you get it now? Don't do the tougher questions first. Do the simpler questions first and answer them as fast as you can. Don't allow any simple question to frame itself as tough. Once it is 2 minutes, drop the question, go to the next one. Do you understand? And so that makes our work a bit easier and less stressful. And you see, when you are attending to IELTS with a very relaxed mind, look at us now. Now, we are attending to this reading at a very relaxed mood. Am I correct? We are not afraid. We are not under tension. We are calm. We are feeling like we are, and that's why we are getting the answer. But if we now allow tension in whatever name, maybe what somebody said, then you will now see that you won't be able to get the answer. And please, what's the difference between you that got the answer and you that didn't get the answer? Your mind. Your mind decided to deceive you and tell you that you cannot get it. It's tough. So you now believed your mind. So what do you need to do to overcome that false belief? By consistently practicing a unique system that has always worked for you, so that that unique system will build a confidence that you can be able to use under tension. So all you just need to do is, under tension, you apply the method that you have been used to that work, and then you get your score, whether you are afraid or not. So let this system of practicing be committed, be consistent with us. Let us adapt to it. Let it become a norm. Are we together, please? Let it become a norm, and let's see how much we can practicalize it. You can go to toilet while you are doing the second passage. I encourage you, go to toilet then. Just ease out and allow for practice the act of going to toilet. Let me allow us to ask our questions. I just want you to understand that your calm disposition can win it for you. Your really calm disposition can win it for you. It is when there is tension, when there is fear, when there is a sense of agitation, a feeling like, oh my God, this is tough. How am I going to get this and all that? Then that's when you now find stress coming around. But when you are really calm, you see, you allow yourself to believe that it is the answers are right in front of you. So what is the reason for the fear? And then you discard it. So you are fine. And you work with time. Okay, work with your timer. Set timer. So once that you do, panam, 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 just stop and go to the next one. Go to the next passage. Once you hear that sound, stop, go to the next one. Don't ever allow yourself to be moved. I must get it. No, I think there's no medal for any missed question or any gotten question. So you can afford to miss the question. You can afford to miss it to get four questions. Am I correct? You can afford to miss one question to get four, than to miss to not be sure of one and then miss four, or not even have an opportunity to even answer four. So will they give it? No, they will give it. I'm only saying, out of your 60 minutes, allocate 5 minutes to go to toilet. Now, it's actually a way to calm your mind. You see, you can answer IELTS question in 40 minutes. That's the truth. But we are made to feel that we must use the 60 minutes. So, but it is easier to go to toilet during reading than during writing. That's my own whatever. And once it's 10 minutes to the end of any paper, toilets are closed. So it's better that you have gone earlier. So if you can go, just ease yourself, feel calm, feel relaxed, take some deep breaths, exercise, and then come back and continue. You understand? Have this easy attitude. Your mind must be easy. Just what is this? Just I know. Now all the questions I did today now, I can't remember the last time I did it. All those questions, but we did it together and we got it as simple as everybody can easily do it when you are alone. So I'll be giving a reading test tonight or two. So I'll just expect that you just go and get your 30 and above. If you don't get 30, don't be annoyed though. It's a growth. If you see growth. So by consistency, you start. I have a lady student that attempted the exam prematurely. So now she's going for the second time and the last time anyway. She's now getting 34, 37 in reading at any given time. 34, 37, 34, 37, normal. So it's not a big deal. Initially she was like, hey, now she's like, I got 34. So it's a gradual process. You will get to the point when you'll be angry that I didn't get 44. You'll be angry. Now, why didn't they give me 40? Why did they belong this one for me? But you need to come to that junction. So let the training system and the training technique be part of your system such that you are naturally disposed to getting the answers when you see them. You understand? So I like to have questions. Now, before I ask the questions, we didn't do matching editing, so okay, we'll do it tomorrow so that we can just spend time on it, all right? Okay? Online exams are not accepted by NMC or Ireland. They are not accepted. So the exams are handwritten with your pencil. Okay? They are handwritten. So I said we are 26 on the page, but in the Telegram group, we are about 700. How come we are this few? Okay, we are having a class on Friday, actually. So it's going to be Friday. The next class will be on Friday. Okay. I'm surprised. What's happening? Is it that people are not getting, or people are on YouTube? Maybe people are on YouTube. Just that the people on YouTube, they won't be able to interact like we are interacting now. But I just feel that probably we have not done so much publicity. The number of people that want to write IELTS in Nigeria, there are about 15 million right now. Over 10% of the country population wants to write IELTS.
Yes.
So it's the truth. But of course, beyond Nigeria, Africa, talking about Africa generally. So now the truth is that we have not done enough of it. Let's try and encourage people that we know to engage in this. Tomorrow we're going to be dealing with matching. I think we should just calm down and do it. That matching this year, it will take a bit more calmer and more focused approach to deal with it. So we'll do that on Friday. So do we have questions?
Sir, I have a question.
All right, please go ahead and ask.
Sorry, like the passage that we did now, for example, you said that if we find there's no need to go back since it's like it follows each other, you don't have to go back again up. When we're done with like the yes, no, not given, the next section,
yes,
like this, for example, this one we just the next section, the question is like a summary, you have to fill in the gap. Yes. Are we going to continue like that, or do we still have to go back again?
The questions
or is it still symmetrical?
They are symmetrical.
Like that, even after
that, they are also symmetrical. But the bottom line is that sometimes they shift back when they go to a new subsection. You get it now? You may still be finding
section or a subsection.
A new section. You know, when I say section, I mean a section under that same passage.
Yes.
So if they move to a new passage, they will likely continue at that. I've observed that they continue at that pace. But you will just feel maybe the first or second question that is moving a little bit into the last one.
Okay.
But definitely the other questions will be towards the end. Okay. Towards the end of the passage. You understand? Okay. Even if it's matching headings, if it is filling the gap too, it will be or yes, no, not given. It will be towards the end too. If it's the last part of the question that it comes up. So, okay. But as you practice more, you engage a very high level of suspicion over your answer pick. So you get more vast in picking your answer better than those who practice only once in a week. So I know of people here now that their reading have practically improved, even though some may not have been so drastic, but it has practically improved. And you see, when your reading has practically improved, you are sincerely at the edge because it allows you to focus on the more serious aspect, like which I call writing and speaking. Speaking is even speaking is the pap of IELTS, the pap. They just takes to just be eating like you're eating pap. Is the pap of IELTS. The banana of IELTS is reading. So when you talk about eba, amala, all this, staple food that you have to be putting in your hand, and then sometimes your hand to be stained. That's writing now. We're just going to have a writing, and maybe yes. But the one that is quite cheap.
I have another question. I don't know. The last time you were talking about several approaches, like any type of approach you can take. You talked about 5, 13, 13, 14, 15 approach or something like that.
You are in that class too?
Yes, I was there. The first is then that the first question I want to ask is that this approach I just mentioned now, is it good for us to follow it? And then the second question is that first 5 minutes. You said we used to just go through the passage. Is it all 3 passages that we're going through in the first 5 minutes?
Now, as time went on, I observed that if you focus on each passage per time, is better than to focus on the 3 passages in one time.
Right.
So that's the reason why I made a mention of 15, 15, 15, 15.
Yes.
It does not devalidate the other approaches. Like the first ones I mentioned, you can still apply it too. Just that I advise, if you are practicing and you have difficulties with reading, print out your reading text. Yes, so that you don't use your phone to be scrolling up and down. Just underline and then you answer. It's only going to make your work easier and faster and neater. And at that, you can apply the 5, 13, 13, 14, 15 approach. You can apply it. Because on the long run, you still have 15 minutes at the end to go back and look through your question, which is the major issue. Yes. You understand? Which is the major issue. So it's all about planning and strategy. And that's why I said, what approach is best for you? There are many approaches in this world, though. So many approaches in this Nigeria, in this world, this whole world. But whichever one works for you, master it.
Which one is 5, 13, 13
yes.
approach?
Okay, you want me to talk about that?
Please, which one is 5, 13, 13? I'm lost.
Don't worry about that. We actually spoke about it in the last class. I understand. We spoke about in the last class we had in June, but I chose not to go back to it because I want to just give a simpler approach. Now, while you're using that simpler approach, you will find out your own approach, because sometimes you may not even know what I tell you that you will do. I've told people, I don't know how people pass IELTS. That's the truth, though. I don't know how people pass. So I only coach. So you tell me the story, and I will say, wow, that's good, that's good. So because individual has their approaches, and I have to respect the fact that we are all having different personalities, and our pattern of doing things could be different. So we will not necessarily do things the same way. And what works for me may not work for you. But when you practice, your own personal approach will appear to you, and then to become easy to apply better. I hope you understand.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, do you have other questions, please?
Okay, sir. Please, sir, I just want to ask something. No, please, this one that you said, the reading, you can't use it in UK, but can you use it? Which other country can use it? Like, if you don't make up to the cutoff point for reading?
No, see, it's different countries. So, for UK, for example, 6.5 is not allowed. Not that it's not okay. For Ireland, 6.5 is allowed for Ireland. USA, 6.5 is allowed. And there are some countries that even if you get 6.5 anything, once you have overall of 7, you can enter. So, but I'm talking about UK specifically, for reading and listening and speaking, you can't have anything less than 7.
7. Okay,
yes.
Sir.
But for Ireland, you can have 6.5 in listening or reading. In fact, you can even have 6.5 in the 2. But your writing must be 7. But recently, they have said you can even have 6.5 in writing for Ireland. So it's a bit more easier to actually use. But let me say something. Please, don't dream to have 6.5 in anything except writing. Please. Because once you have 6.5, in any of those stuffs, remarking is difficult, especially for listening and reading. Someone told me that they changed remarking of listening and reading. I've not seen anyone that they've changed though. From the little experience I've had, though, they have changed writing. I've seen them change writing. I've seen them change speaking. But that listening and reading, if they change it for somebody, that miracle, maybe one of a million or one of 1,000. It's not common. So master those two areas, bam, so that you will not even have any problem with it at all. So you can just, if you now have 6.5 in speaking, I've observed that for all my students that had 6.5 in speaking, they went to do remark, they changed it for them to 7. In fact, there was one that had 6 in speaking, they changed it to 7. Okay. The one that just paid me was that, imagine this result, 8 in listening, 8 in very painful result, and annoying, agitating, annoying. 8 in listening, 7 in writing, 6.5 in reading. He now went to have 5.5 in speaking. What is your name? My name is Honorable Stephen. Where do you work? I work in this hospital. What do you do? 5.5. That thing touched me, because if you just went to have 7 or 6.5 in speaking like this, that's high land. So she went for remarking. They now changed 5.5 to 6. That thing touched me. To 6. They didn't even give 6.5 go. 6. So those areas should be worked on. Don't ever allow that mistake to happen to you. That one will not be having problem with listening and reading. It's like a stain. One should not allow it at all. Okay. Yeah, you want to say something?
So for the speaking, sir, but what do they really want somebody to say? Like,
the way you're speaking English, that's exactly what you're speaking. That's what you want to say. Just speak good. Don't give accent. Don't say when I was an American. Say your normal English. Just say your normal English. Say your normal English and flow. Don't say don't worry, we'll get to speaking. It's simple.
But Mr.
Actually,
P, what would have made somebody to score 5.5?
I don't know. Since I don't know too. When it comes to this issue, they start making, I'm so stunned. I'm like, how do you get 5.5 or 14? You get 7. You got 7 in writing. You got 8 in listening. You now want to now get 5.5 in this speaking.
Expect someone to say
it's a rare result. It's very rare. You will not find it everywhere. Most commonly, you will see 6.5 or 6. And if you go for remarking, if you come to 7, I'm telling you, all the speakings that I've ever gone for remarking has always changed. I'm telling you from experience. All speakings that ever went for remarking changed. Even if it's 5.5, it will change for 5.5. It must change. All the speakings. I'm saying this with confidence. But what I'm trying to say is that don't make the mistake of having nonsense score in speaking. It's really ridiculous. I mean, okay, tell us about your workplace. My workplace is this and that. I care. I give medication. This and is that one we cannot say? Although I had a story actually of one guy. He never went to practice. He was focusing on these other stuff. I never went for practice. He never tried. He now, when he got to the exam, they gave him a cue, this paper, to talk about a topic. I'm sure he was shocked. So that actually allowed him to exclaim like that in vernacular before the examiner. Of course, that one now. What magic? What magic does he want? So he just had a simple 5, and he had 8.5 in reading, 8 in writing, and 8 in listening. Now look at that result: 5 in speaking. So those are avoidable distractions. One thing I will say about speaking is start speaking vernacular. That's all. Just start speaking English everywhere. Even if you are speaking to a woman in the market, can I have some Gary? Can I have some? Just be speaking English everywhere until you finish IELTS. Let English be your normal language, okay? So let me. Really, people is involved. Oh my God, I didn't even see this. Okay, now let me hand over to Mr. Bella. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
I want to
Mr.
say
Bella.
well done for all your efforts. Well done, Mr. Stephen. Sorry about the hiccup when we started. Yeah, I think we have to sort out a way where, Mr. Stephen, I think we need to do a training for you on how you can coordinate this evaluation session as well. I think we need to look for a time so that I want to ensure that. What I'm looking to do is have us build a system where I do not have to be there. I'll just facilitate it. So I think we need to agree on a time where we can have you understand all the nitty-gritty, and then you can just run it whether I'm there or not. So this is bigger than me. So it doesn't, I don't even have to come and say hello to everyone all the time, you know. So I just want to say let's keep on persevering. We've had some good results. So I played back the conversation yesterday, and then I realized that at the beginning someone was sharing their results. I didn't even know. I just got home. I was trying to fix the evaluation class. I missed out what the person was saying. It's a good thing when you get your results to come and share it here. So at least we all know that, you know, it's not audio learning we're just having, you know, like we're actually having results, because our people like evidence, you see. And I don't understand what so you come on, you learn, and then you pass. You say you want to keep it quiet. You don't have immunity from village people. Trust me. Village people will find you if they want to find you. So, you know, well, that's just my own opinion. Anyway, I want to say well done, Mr. Stephen. Well done, everyone. I want to say good luck with all the learning, and when you book the exams, let us know if you need some form of maybe last minute checks. Just let us know. We can work something out. Especially if you have booked your exams, we might be able to make exemptions for you and get you onto the private tutor session and see what areas you need to brush up on. So yeah, that's all I have to say for tonight. So I'll speak to you all later. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Right, so we see on Friday by the same time.
All right, sir. Thank you, Mr. Stephen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen. Thank you, Mr. Bella. God bless you. Amen.